And we are back with another episode, and we lost Kiamo. Where he went? Like, no.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Like, no. We are back with another episode 67. We're doing these monthly drops now, no more weekly drops. You know, gotta give people time to breathe and live life. You know, we're back here again with a special guest. He's not new to this podcast. He's been here before. My brother Kiamo. My brother, how you?
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
How you feeling?
I feel great, bro.
Yeah, so we are here to talk about your new album coming out next Friday.
Yeah, Malcolm's story.
Yeah, Malcolm's story. I'm gonna start off with, I guess, like a question we did before. So how long has this album been like in the making for you? Like when was like the first song you wrote for it, and just like the whole process, pretty much.
I started making this album in 2022, the wintertime, right after the American Dream 3 dropped. So around 2022 in November we dropped. We've been working on this album, and I thought the album was done in 2023. Then I started going through a whole depression and everything, bro. And I just finished up the album this year. You know what I'm saying? Around the summertime, But in the mix of that, we still gave the people last year a deluxe to the American Dream 3.
Mm-hmm.
We gave them Love Lost Its Soul 4. And then we also dropped the EP Sincere, just to show people that we still working and stuff like that, But Malcolm's story, that's the album. That's what we prepped for this long journey and road.
So what were you looking to... What type of vibe were you looking to accomplish with this album? Because you said that you thought it was finished, and then you went through something that caused you to like keep writing for it. So what was your goal, I guess, in terms of inspiration?
I went through a whole like depression. I had to go to therapy. Throughout this album, you hear the things that transpired with my personal life. That's real personal to me. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a whole scenario. It was real different from me. You know what I'm saying? This album means the world to me. You're gonna hear my life on it. You're not gonna hear me talk about. You're gonna hear me talk about things that I've seen growing up, of course. But you hear me get real personal on this album. A lot of people will say this is my most vulnerable project. If you watch interviews, a lot of interviews, I've been real vulnerable, and I've been talking about things that have been going on in my life currently. You understand? And yeah, this album's just different to me. This is my life. This is my journey. This is my story.
To piggyback off of okay, I'm sorry, Zaria. Let me get Zaria real quick. To piggyback off of you talking about going to therapy, as I feel like it's not talked about enough. I feel like some people do talk about it, but it's not talked about enough in the Black community. Because, like, for example, for therapy, like for me, like I currently enrolled in therapy and for the first time, and that's like new to me. So I got shit going on too. So it's definitely a conversation that needs to happen more, and we need to like be comfortable to like going and like actually like trying to like get our mental health straight, because as men we gotta like deal with stuff. We gotta like just like be strong for everybody, right? So
be comfortable with being uncomfortable,
basically. But
well said, perfect.
Oh yeah, said. But that was a little piggyback. Go ahead, Zaria.
So my question was, like, is your process with writing still the same as it was before, or is it kind of different now because of everything that you went through?
No, my writing process is still the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I write, it's just my passion. You hear a lot of my passion. Mm-hmm. Even when I did the freestyle on the Streets of Proof, like, I'm an artist that's about passion. You felt the passion. You know what I'm saying? Much more of things that I'm saying, but you felt the passion behind it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm a person that just don't sit in the studio for no reason. Like, I gotta be in the mood to want to recreate music. I gotta be in the mood. I gotta be passionate. When anything I'm doing, I'm passionate about. You understand? So, like, the process is still the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing really different about it, though.
I could tell your passion is there, though. I remember when you're doing the freestyle. You kept looking at Brian. He's like, "Don't touch that button." He was like, I remember that. No, your passion is definitely there.
Thanks.
That freestyle was like top three freestyle the whole podcast. I was like, he was like, "Don't press that fucking button." I was like, I ain't gonna do nothing. Okay, so how many songs are on the project? How many songs?
19.
19. Now I know artists like put a certain amount of songs on the album, but they make way more than what's on the album. So how many songs did you have to go through to like narrow it down to 19?
I had about 30 to 40 records. Yeah. And we picked the best 19, and then we didn't want to leave music out, so we started this thing called the Mecca. So starting in August, I was dropping music every Friday. The things that didn't make the album.
Okay.
That's nice.
So,
You know what I mean?
so rather than
started that.
yeah, so rather getting on a like a whole new album or like a part 2 of the album, you just start feeding them like little like singles like that, singles or like Lucy's, they call it Lucy's.
Yeah.
The Lucy's. Okay. All right. So let's preview the song that you sent me.
I sent you the whole album actually.
Exactly. I saw that. I was like, yeah.
Album early.
I said, send me a song. He's like, I bet. 5 minutes later, 20 attachment. I was like, all right, bet.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna play this snippet and we can discuss it further. There we go.
Left side, right side for real. 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 Reservoir dogs, bulletproof vest with a terrier. Blood of talk, so f it, man, we ain't hearing ya. Edwin told me, don't rely on the handyman. And keep my name out your mouth. I'm like the candy man around my way, Dominican switchblades with a poncho. As a youth, my idols was Yankees like Soriano. But I'm the close of the shows like Mariano. Besides Griselda, uncle gave me dollars from Blanco. Talk hustle, minds do for a flip. Hear nothing, see nothing, cause the words don't exist. Grandfather said the love of family keeping you rich. Look at the stars, word is yours as I stare at the blimp. The wind coming, don't alert them, let them worry you. Where I'm from, get close to you, just to murder you. Took our innocence young, the trauma really hurt a few. They felt they never took the time out to learn from you.
Whole lot of bars in that song. Whole lot of bars. You know what it is though? With like your rap style, you have an old soul. You basically have an old soul.
Yeah.
Cause every time I hear a song from you, it's like that like 90s, 2000s type of vibe. You know.
I was thinking the same thing.
With the beat selection, the whole thing. But is this one of your favorite songs from the album?
My favorite song on the album I could say is "Beautiful Life."
Okay.
Featuring Jody Banks. I touch subjects that a lot of people don't know about my life. You know, that my grandfather fought cancer. That my daughter could have been a twin, but he's the one that made it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Topics about me and friendships. You know what I mean? Like "Beautiful Life." I love Madison Square Garden on my album. Yeah, my daughter's the executive producer on the album, and she's also on the ad lib on my album. That people don't know on a song called Godfather featuring Rashi Chappelle. So she plays a factor on this album. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. So like you saying this album is like your story. Like is it progression? Like does it tell it from the beginning to like now? Is it like is there an order to it? Okay.
Yeah. You'll hear it. You'll hear the sequence. Everything that I went through. Touchy subjects. I got a record called House Ain't a Home. I'm talking about, you know, my situation that happened, you know what I'm saying? It's deep, you know what I mean? This album is deep to me, you know what I'm saying? A lot of emotions. People that at the listening party literally broke in tears, and, you know, they was like, wow, like this album just bounces all around the room, you know what I'm saying? It gives that much emotion.
And you know what? I love when artists are able to be vulnerable and talk about what they've been through, because I feel like it's so natural that when you're going through something to feel like you've never been, or like no one's been through this,
like you're hiding it,
right? Yeah. Like you feel like, oh my god, I'm the only one going through this. But when artists make music like that, it's like, oh, I'm not alone, and people are able to resonate with that,
which makes it more relatable.
Yeah, because not everything is about like money, cars, whatever. Like
yes, it is.
People go through things, so I think it's important to.
He said yes, it is.
I think it's important to showcase that as well.
No, yeah, it definitely is.
So
I was just telling her when this was playing just now, I felt like it could be on like BMF or something, because like I don't know, like it just gave me that vibe, like that old soul where like, you know, they're talking about things that's going on back then. Like it would be good music.
Oh, thank you, I appreciate it.
It definitely could be like on a power show, you know, it's like stars or something like that. So in the process of writing this album, was there any particular like topics you didn't want to like touch on, or anything like you didn't feel comfortable talking about? Like on the
I
album?
touched on every topic, bro.
Everything.
You want to hear what drove me to depression, what drove me to feeling the way I am. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at today in my life. You know,
Yeah.
it hasn't been an easy journey, and everything is spoken about on this album. You're not gonna really miss a subject about it. You know?
I love that because I
Yeah,
feel like so many
It's
people would be able to
that
relate
deep.
to that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like if they don't relate to one story, they're gonna relate to the second. So I think that's so important.
And then going back to what Brian said earlier, like in the Black community, like mental health is something we're just recently starting to talk about. So the fact that you're able to like be vulnerable and open up and like release like your music and talk about it, definitely gonna help other people in that same situation or something similar who felt like they couldn't talk about it before. It's like, well, if he's able to put an album out about it, then I can go and talk about it. Like, it's something that's really important. I'm glad that more people like general, especially in our community, are starting to like sign up and like about the feeling, especially Black men, because you're told from such a very young age, oh, you got to be strong, like you can't cry, you can't do this, like everything has to be held in. So I'm glad that you, like you said, you were able to open up about that and talk about it, and just be vulnerable, because like it hurts to hurt, like hide it all and keep it inside. So like being able to release it, especially in a way that you love and your passion and is a healthy way, is definitely a step towards getting better. I love that.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So as we close out 2024, do you have any other plans to release any other, like probably like another single, or is the album gonna be the last for 2024? Then you're gonna focus on 2025 pretty much?
It sounds crazy, bro, but a lot of people that heard this album feels like this is my last project. And how I'm taking, am I walking away from music? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like you guys are the first ones to really hear this. Yeah. It's that deep. I want to really get myself better. I want to get Malcolm better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been an artist to everybody. I'm a dad to somebody. I need to get back to being Malcolm, to who I am to myself. And regardless of if that's music, if that's who I am to me, then that's who I am. But I also know what I mean to the world as well. And for me to be there for the world, I gotta be there for myself at some point in my life. I've been dropping consistent music since I came out of high school. Every year mixtapes, every year project. Sometimes dropping 2, 3 times a year. Giving ton of content, ton of music videos, being on ton of features, magazine shows, everything. And I really had to take the time to really like I got to get my mindset back. You know what I'm saying? What I went through this year was real tragic. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, a lot of men wouldn't, I don't know how they'll handle the situation, being in my situation, or anybody personally, not just men, but women as well, and it's not easy, but Rome wasn't built in a day. We got to build things brick by brick. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we're taking it with this album. You know what I mean? When you hear this album, you're going to just be like, I don't know where it's going to take people. It's going to take them to cry, be emotional, or be passionate about more of what they do with their craft. But to know this Malcolm story is something that's special, and it's driving me to a place where I really can't explain, you know?
And I love that you're able to admit that, because like a lot of people, like, because you said you've been doing music like straight out of high school, so like instead of sticking to what people are expecting from you, you're being honest with yourself, like, nah, I need to take time, I may need to take time away, and if this is something I want to come back to, then I'll come back. But if not, like, I love that you're on this self-discovery journey and you're not letting what people know you as like determine of who you're gonna be.
No, I truly appreciate that. Like, I do. Like, it's something that's like meaningful, and like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day. Everything's built brick by brick, So sometimes you're gonna take 10 steps back to take 15 forward, So you really, and your mental is everything, Building mental awareness is everything. Definitely when you're carrying a brand, you're carrying your business, you need to be there for yourself, because if you don't, things break apart. You know what I mean? As fast as you created it. You know what I'm saying? I always say things that your foundation is everything, So I could say, yo, I could walk away from the album, walk away for a minute, but this album got 19 tracks, I could shoot a music video for it every month, you know what I'm saying? And get it out there, and it could carry me on for 19 months. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? And with the type of marketing as well, that could push, keep things elevating and keep things going,
I was just gonna ask, do you feel like you'll drop any visuals for any of the songs in specific on your album?
Yeah, we already got a visual ready to drop on Monday. So the album drops this Friday coming up, and then the following week, Monday, we got Maserati freestyle dropping off the album.
Okay.
Oh,
We had that video already since March. So, you know, we ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, this album is something special, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like even with the features, like his album is special. You know what I'm saying? We got Rashi Chappelle. You know, he's down with Trust Gang. That's 38 Special. We got my man K Prez. We got Fat Boy Dash. We got Jody Banks. You know, we got a ton of people. You know, from production. Situationships 2. That's produced by Drizzy Banko. He produced Don't Play With It by Lola Brooks, I'm sorry. And we got you know, Track Pros, we got Lucci, we got a whole bunch of production on it from different producers and stuff like that as well. So, you know, K the Boss produced it. He did music with Jim Jones, Davies, Jadakiss, he produced their music. So like, yeah, like this album special it's been a 2-year work for a reason, you know?
Do you feel like you worked with so many people? Is there anyone who you haven't worked with yet that you would love to do so, like if given the opportunity?
Yeah, he's no longer alive. And I always said like Nipsey Hussle. Like I always said, like it's not even it's not even just the music part, just sitting in a room with Nipsey. Because you know, I get back to the community. I always get back to the kids. I always get back to the Boys and Girls Club. I always wanted to create curriculums to help give back to my community and where I'm from. And working with Nipsey, just how he gave back to his neighborhood, his area, you know, always meant something to me as well. Because I've been following Nipsey for a long time, and definitely the independent route, as we tend to follow, you know. And that was just something that I always stood out. You know what I mean? I always messed with Nip and how he created his brand, and that's a lot of the inspiration too with my album cover. Because you ever see Nipsey album cover, usually he'll sometimes have something involved with Crenshaw or Slow, you know, the area that he's from. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I wanted to give the people in my album, A Malcolm Story, is that you see the sign on my area. It's like, this is the area I'm from, like Hope and Harrison. I'm from Sherman Street, but Hope and Harrison is literally the next block over. We grew up playing in number 10 School Park. And if you're from Passaic, New Jersey, that's one of the worst parks. You know, there's one way in, one way out. There's a ton of things we saw in the neighborhood we wasn't supposed to see as a kid. But at the end of the day, that park, we grew up as friends, family, and it created a toughness. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it made us who we are today. And like that bodega that's standing behind me, that's the corner store. We will all get stuff from, and we'll just sit out there on the corner, you know, after playing ball all day and stuff like that. Or sometimes seeing the things we ain't supposed to see at the park, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it built our character, you know? So I'm bringing people to my neighborhood and to my world when they see that album covers, just as, you know, similar to what Nip would have done with his album covers, or what Nas did with Illmatic. He brought you to Queensbridge. Now with this album, I'm bringing you to my story from Passaic, New Jersey.
I love that.
Thank you.
Do you ever feel like pressured to, like you said, like to like keep going with the music, since you're like pretty much the best rapper from Passaic, New Jersey, and I feel like a lot of people will be upset if you stop making music. Do you ever feel pressure to like keep going?
It's based off, I could say from my team standpoint, you know, because there's a lot of people that's, you know, invested into this. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just me, you know. I got management, I got Blue House Regulation, I got a crew of guys, you know, that's all standing behind me. Hudson crew, my cousin Des, A&R, you know, just a whole bunch of people. My cousin Nas, my brother Jordan, Quentin Films. Like, there's a whole bunch of people that's in line with us. You know what I mean? Flea. Like, there's a whole bunch of people in corner of the world. So it's like, if I stop, what happens to everything else? Which everybody else is gonna carry their brand and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But the whole idea is like, I want to break down the barrier so other platforms could jump in and do what they want to do, stating like, yo, we from Passaic, New Jersey. Word, and Kiamo from there. Word, oh, that's my guy. Word, let's work. You know, because you know everybody know it's not what you know, but who you know. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to make relations for everybody else, so everybody can do what they got to do. I even told the younger artists coming from where we come from, it's so easy for me to want to do drill. I could rap on anything, you know, and everybody knows drill rap is like the wave, you know. But I want to broaden my music. I want to broaden my brand to the point where it reaches like, you know, Kendrick Lamar's platforms, like that level of rap. J. Cole's platform, that level of rap.
Timeless.
You know what I'm saying? As in, like, it's a broader audience. You understand? And that's how I carry my music, and that's how I carry my brand, because I want a broader audience. It ain't just for one direction, one dimension. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you can help more people when it's a broader audience.
So is it your intention to turn to music once you take your break, or are you kind of just in the air where you really don't know what the next step is gonna be?
I love that question. I'll be honest with you, I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? One thing I always
Mm-hmm.
said was like, God forbid something was to happen to me, my legacy will live forever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It will live forever.
Yeah.
And that, people are always gonna mention Kaimo at some point when they talking about rap, definitely coming from where we coming from, they will have to
Mm-hmm.
mention it. You know what I'm saying? Because just based off a ton of artists that I worked with from my area and help put them on my platform. You know what I'm saying? And like get them acknowledged because everybody doesn't have the opportunity. I could say. You know what I'm saying? There's a ton of talent where we come from, but a lot of people just
Right.
don't have the opportunity due to just it just happens. It's life. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to
Mm-hmm.
artists, So like me putting them on my platform, me shooting videos to our music videos, to our song, our record that's done, and literally getting it out there. You know what I'm saying? So
So when you first started like doing music, was that your goal to kind of bridge the gap and create these connections to make it easier for the next generation, or did something happen along the way where it's like, nah, this is what I want to do? So like what you said, like as far as leaving your legacy and leaving that door open for other artists, was that something you always wanted to do, or did something happen to make you see like, nah, this is the direction I want to take?
one thing that always stood out was everybody that ever heard me rap. I hope you can agree, Brian, is that when they heard me rap, they just knew I was different, right? Where they
Basically.
just knew like, yo, this guy's just different, just based off rapping wise, right?
Yeah.
So once I got a point across that, I knew I wanted to brand myself a lot different than what everybody else did. I carried
Right.
myself a lot away everybody else did. Where it's like, all right, I need to do it this way to really make it. One thing my uncle Artie used to tell me, that's my godfather as well. He told me, don't just make it, really make it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm not here to be a fifth round pick. No disrespect to anybody that's a fifth round pick or anything. I'm
Bronny.
gonna work to the point where I'm first, first overall
Yeah.
pick. LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna work that hard because I know the lives of others I can change.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that was
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
biggest
Yeah.
things from the very beginning. Like, I don't just want to be a rapper. I want to be an executive. I want to run a label. I want to do what Jay-Z do. I want to do what 50 Cent does. You know what I'm saying? What he did with
Mm-hmm.
G Unit, what Jay did with Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? What Eminem did with Shady Records. I always wanted to be bigger than just an artist, and that's one thing my man's at I started off with Poe. He told me he wanted to brand me bigger than just a rapper, get into movies, get into other things. So that always
Mm-hmm.
been my action. I just didn't want to just rap. Rap was something to get me into the door. Then we're diving into other things, other brands, commercials. We did Timberland and Jimmy Jazz and we brought them here. So that was always the bigger point of working with brands and making them bigger. And not just
Okay.
think rap.
Now that sets you aside already because there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people who don't think like that. Like how you said, they just want to make it. They don't want to make it just to make it. Like how you said before,
Yeah.
like they're only thinking about, okay, I'm gonna make it as a rapper and then that's it. Because like
Mm-hmm.
in your head already, you're like, nah, this is gonna get me into the door, but like I want to do other things with it. So, yeah, you were already set aside from the rest of them with that mindset.
I feel like it's so important as a brand, like as a self-made brand, that you are multifaceted in the endeavors that you go in. So like how you were saying, acting, music, everything that kind of allows you to have a long career.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like while you're on your break from your music that you're gonna try to like dive more into like acting or just different genres of things?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the biggest goals. Excuse me, but that's one of the biggest goals into like diving and helping other brands. You know what I'm saying? Definitely into my career as well, like doing other things. That's that's something that I love to dive into. Definitely acting.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So with this upcoming album, what things are you hoping to accomplish with it?
This album, I pray that this album break the barrier, bro. Like I see it, like I feel it, like I feel so confident about this album. I always said like the American Dream 3, all these other projects were leading up to a Malcolm story. And if you've been around me and like a lot of my team, they know like I always talked about a Malcolm story for years. And I always said like if I was to walk away, a Malcolm story is gonna be my last album. It's gonna be my last project. Why I feel that way, I don't know. God's gonna I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But Malcolm's Story was always gonna be my last project. You know, and I could say that all the time. You know what I'm saying? But something about a Malcolm Story is real special. You know, and that's why I was so personal with the album covers, the cover art, how it looked. You know what I'm saying? How I did this whole rollout. Like a Malcolm Story is something that's just special. You know what I'm saying?
Love that because it was personal to you. Everything is very intentional, like from the imagery to the way that you tell the story to the progressions of the story. Um, I think it's so important, like we were saying before, for you to even be speaking out and everything, because in a world like today where social media just has everybody acting fake and like everything is perfect, it's important to have albums like this that show us it's not all perfect. Like it's
Yeah.
okay to be real and to show that your life is not perfect in this moment, you know? Because that's how we grow. We go through things, we go through obstacles, and we go through them. How we become
who we are.
wiser. Right.
An artist that goes through the most paints the best picture. That's one thing I can always say. An artist that goes through, he's gonna paint his story. She's gonna paint her story. They're gonna sing their story. They're gonna sing their pain, rap their pain when they go through the worst times of their life. And that's the music that everybody loves.
Yep. Because as a listener, you can resonate. Even if you've never been through like what the artist is talking about, you feel their pain. You feel their excitement or, you know, whatever emotion it is that they're trying to portray.
Yeah, because like when you become real and vulnerable, like when you were saying like in the society that's like shows that everything is perfect all the time, even though it's not, I feel like it allows people to like be like, it's okay not to be okay, and that's fine. Because it's like if they're going through it, then it's okay for me to go through it or whatever. Because like again with social media, you're always seeing everyone's life. They show you the good parts. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So it's like you're over here comparing your life to theirs when they may be like going through like hell and back right now, but they're not going to show that to you because they're scared of what the feedback they're going to get from it, because there's so many people who are trolling, trying to see them do bad or whatever. So they're painting this picture. So by having albums or having artists who vulnerable and show that softer side in a way, it makes it more relatable, and it can actually help that one person who's going through something to be like, okay, well, they're talking about it. Their life isn't perfect, even though we thought it was. So it's okay for me to tell my story.
Absolutely.
So what are so what
how does
are
it feel though?
Well, how's
Sorry,
it feel?
how does it feel to
go
feel
ahead.
like, because you've been doing music for so long and it's been such a happy part of your life, like how do you feel thinking, wow, this might be my last like musical project, and who knows, like who knows where life is about to take me?
That's
the
the
passion that
scary
you've
part, right?
held so
That's the scary part, right? Where everybody says, I don't know, bro. And sis, like I don't like y'all guys, you know. I was in a real different space when I created the American Dream 3, right? I was happy, you know, because I was happy. This album is so beautiful to people. And that should make me so happy. But I'm not, because something's still missing for me. You know? So people could say, this album can give me a record deal that I look for my whole life, but I'm still missing something.
Yeah.
Right.
That doesn't make me happy. So I don't know. And this interview, I could tell you, is different from our last interview that we had, you know, because I'm not saying I was never real with you guys, but it's that real. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that I've been battling, stuff that I went through that you will hear on this album. Just gotta put faith in God's hands, you know what I'm saying? I'm big on, you know, this last year is let go and let God. You know?
Yeah.
And God willing, everything will lead to where it's supposed to go. You know?
So what have been some of the things besides therapy that has helped you through like your like trying to find you again, pretty much? Like what have been some of the things?
Friends and family.
You must say
friends and family been my village, you know. Talk on the phone for hours with them. Yeah, talk on the phone for hours for them, you know, and just setting my mind straight, getting me right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just friends and family, man. That's what I can really say. My friends are my family, so I'm gonna say family. You know, and the support of people just loving the music, people asking me, yo, when the album come, like they're excited for it, you know. That's another thing that like brings my spirits up and stuff like that, you know. where people love being around me. You know what I'm saying? I said something that started out was that, that it's crazy how my words can save people, but I feel like my words don't save myself sometimes. But
yeah, I get that.
I feel like everything's gonna bring me back to what I want to do. God willing. You know what I'm saying? But I leave it in God's hands.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
We're the same person.
Looking twinsies over there.
I know. I was like, this is like the third time we say something at the same time, and I just be like, all right.
So, do you have a message for? I think we did this. I don't know if we did this last episode, but do you have a message for like any upcoming artists? Anybody going through shit? Anybody like that's like feeling depression, mental health? One last message to the people right now. What would that message be?
Find yourself. Know who your family is. Know who your friends are. Take accountability. Forgive yourself. Become the best version of yourself mentally, not just physically, but mentally. And pray and have faith. And just know everything's going to get better one step at a time and brick by brick. And if you're an artist and you're going through things like that, go ahead. And then also, it's not just about dropping a record. Know the marketing, know the business. We all know that music industry is 90% business, 10% talent. So understand that as well. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of things I can give people advice. I'll only just say have faith in yourself, believe in yourself, take accountability, grow from it, let go, let God, and be the best version of yourself. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. This is episode 67. Carnival's dropping an album next Friday. Make sure you go get that on all DSPs. Thank you again, my brother, for coming through. I appreciate you.
Nah, salute, man.